Hey guys, Papa Pete back with another pickup video. This time, I was down in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. I had to take 64-bit back to his apartment after spending a week at home after graduation. And I took the opportunity to stop at Lost World, where I had a whole bunch of credit built up. I didn't have a whole lot of time to stop, but man did I ever get some great stuff. Plus, 64-bit and I are going to merge our collections. That's a big thing, the merger. So I'm going to start it here today with just a couple things that he gave me to bring home and put in our collection. Anyway, stick around. I got some amazing things to show you.
Papa Pete, the old ass gamer. Papa Pete, the old ass gamer. If you haven't grown up by the age of 50, you don't have to.
First of all, I want to point out I'm drinking 9 Lakhs Porter today. 9 Lakhs is a brewery in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. I picked up a few while we were down there, and I picked up a glass. I love getting glasses for the different small breweries around and drinking their beer in their glass. I don't know why. These ones have neat little sayings on them, like Mama C and I run, so this one says, never trust a runner. They always find the dead bodies. Very true. Perfect. Anyway, first thing I'm going to show you today is a little bit off topic, but I did pick up just out a copy of Captain Marvel. It is the Canadian version with the French and English on it, but still, I really enjoyed this movie. It was the last part of the Marvel Universe before Endgame, and I'm glad to see it come out on Blu-ray finally. I like buying the Blu-rays because I find that I like them digital, but if you buy the digital, you pay $25, or if you buy the Blu-ray, you pay $25, and you get a digital anyway. So you get this as a bonus. I don't know, I just like having it. I'm an old style, same as my games. I like to be able to have the physical copy of it. Anyway, Captain Marvel, really happy to have it. So while I was down in Dartmouth, I had a few minutes, only a few minutes. I had like 10-15 minutes. I could stop into Lost World and see Rick, and I had some credit left over from one of the trade-ins I did back earlier in the winter. And I wanted to use it all up because I don't know exactly when the next time I'm going to be down is. But I just really thought it was a good opportunity to get some great things for my collection with the credit that I have. So anyway, I picked out a lot of great stuff for my Xbox collection as well as my NES collection. The first game I picked up for my Xbox collection was Destroy All Humans! One Giant Step on Mankind. Kind of an infamous game. It's a good game, not a common by any stretch, not real expensive, but not a common. It was available on different platforms, PS2, etc., etc. But I really like this game. It's sort of a third-person adventure, but it's also got a bit of comic elements in it. And just really happy to add it to my collection. And Rick had a really good copy there, so we got that thrown in. Now the next game, I'm not all that familiar with, but I've seen it quite a bit. It is, man, this is a nice shape too. Timesplitters II. Again, a third-person sort of adventure game. Blast through 10 huge environments in time, such as the Cold War, Russian military base, gangster-ridden 20s, blah, 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 blah. So it's a fighting game set in different eras. Really kind of neat. And man, what great condition. Excellent for the collection. The next game I picked up is a real classic on the system, I think. It's the black box version, I think there is a greater hits one, of SpiderMan, SpiderMan 1. Now, way back before I ever really collected Xbox games, I had my original Xbox from back in the mid-2000s, I had SpiderMan 2, and I loved that game. So, this one is more for the collection. It's in excellent condition, just like brand new. Will I be playing it? I might try it out a little bit. But between Superman 2 that I played years ago for the Xbox and the new Spider-Man for the PS4, which I got back before Christmas, I've only played a little bit of that, probably 2 hours into it. I've got a lot of playing left to do. I don't know about stepping back, but still I want this for my collection. While talking about superheroes, I also picked up a copy of XMen Legends 2 Rise of Apocalypse. I don't know a whole lot about this game. It's a third-person battle game along the lines of Marvel Nemesis. Very much reminds me of that, only with the X-Men characters. A great shape, just like new. I was kind of surprised I didn't have this one already, actually. But I didn't have any of the X-Men game. I just got X-Men, the game, the original X-Men game, very recently. It was in my last pickup video. And then XMen Legends 2. You see them quite often, but you don't often see them in this condition. Very happy to add that to my collection. The next game I picked up from Lost World from my Xbox collection is one I hadn't heard of too much, but it looked really neat. Headhunter Redemption. See that name right there? Whenever I see Sega on it, I always am really curious. I really want to pick it up. I consider that a high quality name. After the demise of the Dreamcast, of course, Sega turned and went in real partnership with Xbox, so a lot of the games are straight to this. This is one that you probably would have seen on the Dreamcast. Maybe there was a prequel on the Dreamcast. I don't know. I don't think so, though. Anyway, third-person crime fighting battling game with gunplay. You know, I don't know if it's anything too special that makes it stick out, but it's got a really neat cover. And anyway, really happy to add it to the collection. Now, the next game I picked up really caught my eye. It's barely been used, and it's a copy of FIFA Street. I hadn't seen this game. It's sort of like, like the NBA Jam type, only soccer. Really kind of neat. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun to play. And he didn't have very much money on it to throw in for the trade. But I looked it up, and the value that was listed in my app that I used was a lot higher than the value he had put on it. So I need to pick up all these games. I hadn't seen this one around. You see FIFA games now and again. I just thought it was really different. Like an NBA Jam, NBA Street, only this is FIFA Street. Street soccer. Looks like a lot of fun. I bet it's going to be fast-paced, lots of action, and a lot of fun to play. Great to add to the collection. Pretty cool looking cover, too. The last game that I picked up, the last Xbox game that I picked up as part of the trade, was Far Cry Instincts Evolution. I've looked at this game many, many times and just haven't picked it up for whatever reason. And this time I thought, as part of the trade, I just put it up and put it with the bundle to try to work something out with them. And very happy that I did. Great condition. Everybody knows about Far Cry. It's got the series has been around for a long time now. Started back around this time. And what a great thing to add to your collection. I've got a few other Far Cry games for newer systems, and really happy to finally add this one. At Lost World, they have a big wall full of all their NES commons standing there, so I went through them. I picked out a bunch of the common games that I needed. The prices on them were fairly high, I find, but then again, remember, it's Canadian money, and the price for NES games, even the commons, is going up all the time. eBay is crazy. By the time you pay the shipping, the exchange, everything, it's very expensive for me, so this actually worked out really well. Now, the first NES game that I picked up for my collection is Air Fortress. Air Fortress is sort of a hybrid game. It's a shmup, meaning the first part is you're flying your plane trying to get into the air fortress, so it's a horizontal shooter. And then once you get into the fortress, you have 3 tries into the fortress. Once you're into the fortress, it's an action-adventure game, sort of like a platform. Sort of a middle-of-the-road game. Nothing highly rated, but still a nice solid game. The next game I picked up was Breakthrough, Data East game. And in this game, all you do is, you're driving a military vehicle trying to break through enemy strongholds, trying to get your way to the finale of the game. Anyway, very typical, middle-of-the-road, average-rated military combat game, vehicle combat game. The next game I picked up is Bad News Baseball. I remember playing that when I was renting it back when I was in university. And it's just another cartoonish baseball game. There's so many baseball games out for the NES. There's nothing really that makes this one stand out from any of the other ones. There's no Major League Baseball license. There's no players. It's just kids playing baseball. And there's something to be said for that, really. Sometimes the more simple it is, the better it is. The next one that I picked up is The Black Bass. Again, I'd seen this around a few times, kind of surprised that I didn't have it. Checked my list, didn't have it. It's a fishing game. There aren't too many fishing games out for the NES, but this is one of the most well-known ones anyway of the bunch. The Black Bass. I'm gonna definitely try this game out because There's something just sort of neat about fishing games. I don't know what it is about them. Really, it's a Sega fishing game with a fishing pole controller. That's what I really like to have. I was surprised I didn't get that back in the day, but anyway, NES Black Bass. Looking forward to trying that one out. The next game I picked up is, a little bit better of a game, a little bit more expensive a game. I haven't seen it around too much. I picked up a copy of the Addams Family, and it's a platformer where you're Gomez, your family's trapped inside the house, being held captive by somebody who's taken over the house and trying to steal all your money, and you're trying to save your money and rescue your family. So the Addams Family. I always thought this looked pretty interesting, so I'm really happy to add it to my collection. Now the next one I've added, we all know these games. I've only got number 1 and number 2, and I'm going to try to get the rest. There's 6 of them all together. You probably know what I'm talking about already. And I picked up a copy of Mega Man 3. Why I've never tried to get the other ones? I don't know, well, because they're expensive, first of all, but you just don't see them around unless you really make an effort to try to pick it up. But anyway, the opportunity was there to include this as part of the trade, part of the credit that I had with them. So I was really happy to add that and finally add it to my collection. Still need 4, 5, and 6. We'll work away at them. They're certainly available. It's just a matter of finding them at the right price. Now the final part of my credit that I had down at Lost World, I was so happy to see this. This is a great game. I already had the game, but now I have it complete in box. And that is a complete in-box copy of Battletoads. So happy to add this to my collection. I don't get a lot of complete in-box NES games anymore, but when I saw this one, and the fact that it was going to be part of the trade, I had to add that one in. So happy to pick it up. I love this game. It's brutally hard. We did play this back when I was a kid. My brother had it, and my nephew. And I can remember my brother trying to beat it. He always would bear down, try to beat these games. He'd leave the Nintendo on for days and pause, to try to save it and beat these games. And I don't think he ever did manage to beat this. But then again, this is one of the hardest games going. I can still remember us playing 2-player, going down that tunnel, turning into and killing each other all the time. Man, it was a lot of fun. Frustrating and led to some arguments, but a lot of fun. And I'm so happy to have Battletoads complete in box. Now remember I said I went down to Dartmouth to take 64-bit back and that we're merging our collections? Well, before I get right into that, he did pick me up something that's sort of common, but I just didn't have it. And that is something for my Intellivision collection. It's a variant, and he picked me up at Value Village one day, a complete in-box, red box copy of Space Battle. I've played this 100 times. When I was a kid, my brother-in-law's copy of Space Battle was the Sears edition. That's the one I still have today upstairs. I picked up the blue edition since, but I never have picked up the red one. The red one was the very first one to come out. It was when it was still part of the Action Network as opposed to being part of the Space Network. It was just before they created the Space Network. And rumor is that this version in the red box, the Action Network, is a little bit slower than the Space Network one. They changed the difficulty on it a little bit because they found this one a little bit too easy. Anyway, thank you 64-bit for finding that, picking it up for me. Never cost very much. I had lots of opportunity to buy it like on eBay or something, but I just thought we'd come across it someday. When he came across it, sent me a message, said, would you like that? And I said, absolutely. Can't beat that. And I love the game. Now in the merger of our collections, we're gonna put a lot of different games all together. I'm gonna build a room here in the house with just our Nintendo stuff in it. And a few years ago, at a yard sale, he was really lucky and picked up a whole bunch of boxed Super Nintendo games. Well, I was down there last week and I thought, let's bring them back and put them safe and sound. Let's get some full cases for them, some plastic cases, and make sure they're all well taken care of. Right now, he's going to be moving, so he got me to bring back a few games. So I'm really happy to add these to our collection. First of all, we got a copy of T2, the arcade game. Again, complete in box. And everything's in there, like the holder and everything, the cardboard and the manual and the works. So we got T2, the arcade game. And we also have a copy of Super Empire Strikes Back. Super Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back. Again, complete. The next one is a heavy hitter. We have a complete inbox Contra 3 The Alien Wars. I love the Contra games. I have not played this one much. I'm going to emulate it. It's on the Super NES Mini. I'm 99% sure. I'm going to hook it up, check it out, play it a little bit. So lucky to have this in our collection. Just an amazing game. And listen, they're just not around everywhere. So we're going to put that one away. Now the next one is every bit as big. It is Castlevania 4, Super Castlevania 4. Again, same thing. You just don't see it everywhere. And when he found these at a yard sale a couple years ago, it was just amazing. He got a great big box full of different inbox N64 games. And these are just some of the highlights in them that he had taken down there with him. Where he's going to be moving and such, we figured we better bring him back here until he gets settled permanently. But anyway, for now, we'll put that in the Nintendo room. The last game he gave me is one that I have never played. I've seen all kinds about it online, and it's really intrigued me because I like this style of game, and I love Mario games. So guess what it is? Super Mario RPG, Legend of the Seven Stars. Complete inbox. Again, very happy to add this to our collection. I don't have a whole lot of Super Nintendo games. Between the two of us, we still don't have a lot. But this really builds towards our collection. Absolute classic game, one of a kind. Yeah, maybe later on Paper Mario sort of took over this story, but I don't know if it's exactly the same. This is something, again, it's on the SNES Mini. I'm looking forward to checking it out. So's Castlevania, by the way, I'm quite sure. Really looking forward to checking it out. Some of the top-notch games on the system. Super Mario RPG, Super Castlevania 4, and Contra 3. 3 awesome games. Well guys, that's it for my pickups down at Dartmouth last week. What a great assortment of games. First of all, thank you to 64-Bit again for merging our collections, for picking me up this great Intellivision title. I got some amazing Xbox originals for my collection. I got some amazing NES, including Battletoads in the box. How does it get any better than that? Mega Man 3. Beautiful. Anyway, guys, thanks for spending a little bit of time with me today. Don't forget to hit like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time when I get some more pickups.
Papa Pete, the old ass gamer. Papa Pete, the old ass gamer. If you haven't grown up by the age of 50,
I'm RGT85. You're watching Papa Pete, the old guy gamer. My voice is kind of out. We're at Too Many Games. Make sure you subscribe and hit that like button.
what the hell?
One more thing, guys. I almost forgot. Kindness matters.